God does hate. In fact, in Proverbs, a couple of weeks ago, we mentioned this, and I just pick it up again for a moment. Chapter 6 of Proverbs and verse 16. Listen to these words. There are 6 things which the Lord hates.
This is a party that says we believe in parents' rights. You're telling me that as a parent, I'm not smart enough to decide if my child and I need to have gender affirming. Our doctors are not involved. What is going on? So I can't decide what my kid reads. I can't decide for my child what my child says is going on. You're telling me your beliefs, and they keep saying it, and I keep saying, what Bible are you reading? Because God was really clear.
Plenty of things that God hates. Malachi 2:16 says God hates divorce. Isaiah 61:8 says God hates wickedness.
To cut to the chase, the UN has apparently decided to add minor sex to its human rights platform.
You're kidding.
There's no other intro needed, and that is all 100% real. But what the UN is actually doing is dangerously blurring the lines of consent. Like, oh, well, what if they're mature? Young people should be involved for progressive autonomy. You know, they're more advanced for their age. Like, they did not explicitly say that this was about 2 minors. Instead, they vaguely say just involving persons under the age of 18, involving people who are minors. That's vague. And I do not accept vague when it comes to protecting children.
Many of the most popular Christian leaders and pastors today focus exclusively on God's love, which deceives sinners in rebellion against God concerning the dangerous state they are in before a holy and righteous God who will not let the guilty go unpunished.
Knowing that God loves you perfectly and unconditionally, that he will never stop loving you.
Now that I've called sin, sin, paid for it, and said I don't condemn you, I want you all to leave your life of sin. And if you don't, I love you. And if you can't, I love you.
God will never, 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 never stop loving you. Even if you chose to reject him and go to hell, God will still love you.
Live in the freedom that God loves you unconditionally. If you're basing God's love on your actions, that's conditional.
The problem with Joel Osteen, Victoria Osteen, Joyce Meyer, Rick Warren, and Andy Stanley's view of God's love is that God's love being unconditional means that God does not save people based upon their actions or good works. God chose to save people in spite of their sin and rebellion.
All them
At the
scammers
same
on the
time,
stage. All
those
them
who are in
scammers.
rebellion against God are objects of God's love, but rather they are objects of his wrath towards sin.
It's just categorically. Same thing in Hosea 9:15. In Jeremiah 44, verses 3 and 4, God hates idolatry, the worship of anything or anyone other than himself.
Listen to Lance defend something that is absolutely evil against Tim Pool, who is not even pro-life.
Less than 1.3% of abortions take place near the 8th or 9th month.
How many abortions?
Is that a good marker?
How many?
I don't know the actual numbers.
13,000.
Okay, but we're talking about less than 1.3%.
Hold on, 13,000, that's the number of people who die from gun violence in the U.S. each year that aren't suicide.
Why kill the baby if they're removing it?
I don't think they should do that. I would. If they ask me, should I do this? I would say no. But she should have a right. Yes, of course. It's her body still.
In the instance of a failed abortion, what should be done?
At that point, you cannot kill that child. That would be murder.
Oh, okay.
Agreed on that point.
Right.
Yeah.
So then, where does the mother's choice come in to kill?
Before that procedure takes place. Yeah, it's her body.
She wants to do meth. What's the big deal?